I've spent over 21 years of my life conforming to the way that society wants me to behave. I watched other children in the playground and copied the way that they ran or the way that they played with one another. I watched other people in the classroom and copied the way that they sat at their desk or the way they spoke to the teacher. I watched other people's facial expressions and tried my best to copy them for greetings and photos. I have spent my entire life mimicking others so that the people around me would accept me and view me as one of them. And it has been the most uncomfortable, exhausting and painful thing I have ever had to do. I vividly remember the first time I knew I was different from the other children around me. I was in year 1 and was having a particularly overwhelming morning. I didn't want to go to school, which wasn't unusual. I never wanted to go to school. But on this morning, I knew that I truly couldn't do it. Not in the way that everyone expected of me. So, while I was getting ready, I filled my school bag with all of my favourite cuddly toys, so that they would be there to be my friends and protect me from all the scary and difficult times that the school day would bring. When I arrived at school and hung my bag on my peg, my teacher noticed how full my bag was. Although I protested, she opened it up and came across all my cuddly friends. I was told that I could keep one teddy with me in my bag, but the rest would have to go home with my mum. To me, this was the end of the world. I cried and cried as I couldn't understand why the things I put there to help me were being taken away from me. I realised in this moment that my brain didn't work in the same way as the people around me. Why didn't they need teddies for support? Why didn't changes like this cause them physical pain? Why was I so different? In hindsight, this is also the moment I realised that any adaptations I needed in order to thrive weren't going to be given to me without a fight. The further through primary school I went, and the more structures that were put in place, the more difficult it became to mask my differences. From being told that I held a pencil wrong, and that this wasn't acceptable, even though my handwriting was excellent, to being told that I was too talkative, or that my literal interpretations of things and my directness when speaking was rude. The expectations of me baffled me, and I just didn't know how to fit in. School was just absolutely exhausting, but I played the part well, enough to get by. Home was another story. The moment I would get home, I would experience explosive meltdowns and debilitating shutdowns that would cause me physical pain and extreme exhaustion. I wasn't coping. I was just barely getting by. But to those around me, I was just Tasha. A smart little girl who, was quirky, but that was just her. They saw no reason that I should need any support, because in their eyes I was fine. I was just like the other kids. I guess my phenomenal ability to mask was the first thing that made me want to go into theatre. I mean, I was acting every day anyway, so why not do it as a job? But this time, I'll get to play other characters, not just neurotypical female child. School continued to get worse in the transition to secondary school. I became a school refuser, I became quiet and withdrawn, and I desperately struggled to make and maintain friendships. All I wanted was for someone to notice that I needed support and to help me access that. But it didn't happen. From that first day, when I realised I was different in year 1, it took a further 15 years before I was finally diagnosed with autism. I am autistic, and the knowledge and reassurance that diagnosis has provided me with has helped me instrumentally. I have understood who I am and why my brain works in the way that it does, and it's enabled me to advocate for myself and gain further support in navigating life. But it's incredibly difficult to know that I was overlooked and missed throughout my entire schooling experience, and that because of this, I was not offered the support that I deserved at the time I needed it most. So now I need to ensure that the generations after me don't have the same experience as me. Autistic voices need to be heard, and we need to learn from them to create a better environment for autistic children growing up today.